Hello and welcome in for our Sunday night week ahead collective card pulls. What we have ahead of us is a moon day. That's right, a lunation Monday, a full moon in Capricorn. This is the strawberry moon that's kicking off this crossover week where June meets July, and it is quite the meeting. I have so much to tell you, but I wanted to share first that I'm going to do a really special offer here for the strawberry moon. It is on the 29th. I'm going to offer that for $29. So if you are already with me for the Empowerment Pack, I have sent you the part 1. It was 22 minutes and 26 seconds of going over the astrological weather coming in with this full moon, a beautiful chakra balancing ritual that you can do all the way through July 11th. And next, here on the Sharecast, we're going to pick the Queen of the Moon Oracle card that is the overarching energy of this full moon. We'll bring through a collective message, and then for everyone who joins me for this special offer, you get a personal card pull that I will be in to do for you this week, along with checking your chakras. So this is something we've been doing on the Empowerment Pack the last couple months, where along with the Empowered Tarot reading, I'm bringing in some of the Metatron color healing work that I do. And with my pendulum and some chakra stones, we check in with your energetic body to see how energy is moving, where it might need a little TLC. So that is all packed in this special, should I say it, very special offer. Sorry, I'm quite punchy. It has been such a busy season, and today was admissions day at college, so we were on the road very early and all day at school, and just now getting here to get our cards for the week ahead. So I wanted to kick it off, share about this special here first on the Sharecast, and roll into specifically first the Queen of the Moon Oracle card pull, because I'm going to be sharing that with everyone who gets the Strawberry Moon reading as well. So I want to record that for us, see what comes up, send that over there too, and then we will go ahead here and launch into our week ahead tarot card pulls and an oracle message for our last week working with the Tarot of Oneness. Okay, if you're interested in this reading, you can simply Venmo or PayPal $29. At the end of the messages tonight, I will share, as always, those two links of mine. Always very grateful for any of the energy exchanges that I receive. This would be a beautiful way for you also to receive some really powerful messages around this significant full moon in Capricorn. All right, let's get to it, see what's coming up from the Queen of the Moon. Okay, welcome in. It is Sunday night. We are getting ready to tune in here first for our Queen of the Moon Oracle card that will be the overlighting energy coming in for tomorrow's full moon in Capricorn, Strawberry Moon. So without further ado, we're just going to pull this card here, and then we will get into our 5 tarot card spread and then our bonus Oracle of Oneness message for this last week of June that is overlapping with July. Okay, so for this full moon in Capricorn, the Strawberry Moon coming in here at the end of June, just before some very significant aspects and a wild July ahead. What just peeked at us? Trust. Okay, yeah, there's some things that are incubating and just getting ready to crack open. So we're just going to pull one card here, and this is for all who will see this message in their time, whether you're seeing it here on the Sharecast or you're joining me for that Strawberry Moon special offer. This is that first card that's going to start our conversation when I come in to do your personal card pulls. All right, self-reflection, I see you. That's feeling like the retrograde that is occurring here. We're going to talk about it in the astrological weather. Okay. Wow, I'm just throwing cards around. That was self-love. When I feel ready, I'm going to pull it out. Okay, one card, please. The card to bring forward the messages for this full moon in Capricorn. Here we go. Ooh, oh. Yeah, the unexpected. Exactly. Okay. Yep. We're going to talk about it a little bit here. I'm going to deep dive in the July Empowerment Pack to the unreal astrology that's unfolding in the month ahead. But this is perfect. The unexpected. Now, interestingly, this is the card that goes with a blue moon, which you may recall we just had a blue moon last month. So, feeling like this is really speaking to the energy that has been building all these 6 months leading up to this midway point in the year that we are pivoting to the back half of 2026. For sure, the unexpected. So I'm going to share here just a little bit about this card, and we will get into it deeper in the full moon reading. Okay, the unexpected mantra. I trust in myself and in life. So interesting, the first card that fell out was the trust card. And as I mentioned, that is all about, the nest, things are incubating and trusting, right? That they will be coming forward in divine timing. And in this case, some things cracking open. And yeah, even looking at this, and I want to see how it comes up here. I definitely see that those lines that feel like either something cracking open or it's also giving me dating myself, but some of us know this reference. I've mentioned it before. If you remember Spencer's Gifts in the mall, those types of stores that had those globes that we put our hands on and the electricity would come to our hand and you play with it. That's what it's looking like here to me. There's a lot of frenetic energy here. Gemini season, we've just closed out as we welcomed in summer and Cancer season, but the double here also just getting a nod to, again, the energies that have been building over these many months, but specifically what we've just wrapped up and we are stepping into now, coming in, expect the unexpected for sure. So this is the card that's going to start the conversation for the full moon in Capricorn messages that we will be diving into for anyone who would like to join. Okay, well, I'm going to dive into that with those folks, so that's okay. I will leave this here and keep rolling because we're going to go ahead and pull now our 5 cards and then our bonus oracle. So one last time, we're finishing out here on the June altar with the Tarot of Oneness and the Oracle of Oneness from Robyn Voisey. We've really enjoyed these gorgeous decks this month. So we're going to see them through this week. And then next week, I'll be kicking off with a new altar space, channeled words, theme, and all new intuitively selected decks for July. Okay. First card, which is for Moon Day, right? Monday's energy coming in, setting the tone, kicking off the week with the full strawberry moon. What's coming in here from the tarot? The 3 of Pentacles, collaboration, co-creation, building something. But there is a sense here for me of a little bit of back to the drawing board with those blueprints. Because as we can draw things up very specifically, if we're expecting the unexpected, then we are prepared in our plans for pivoting, right? Plans for redirecting and rebuilding in a way. So very interesting to set the tone here with the 3 of Pentacles kicking off the week. Now we're going to see what comes up here for Tuesday as our potential block or challenge this week. Tuesday's energy. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely throwing the cards around tonight. Let's see. Tuesday. Oh, there we go. Ooh, okay. I see something that is bringing me in here. The 2 of Wands. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we've seen this card this month. And, I love the way that we see this through a particular lens, how we are looking at the past and where we want to go in the future as we stand here in this now moment. It's planning, and there's plans that are being drawn up. But there's a lot of different lenses through which we can see things, many different ways we can look at things, and definitely feeling a connection here between, using this full moon as an opportunity to offload, release, shed, forgive anything that is not coming with us for the second half of this year. So this is giving us a point where we're going to decide, but this is a potential block or challenge position. So what are we not seeing with great clarity? What do we maybe need to zoom in or out on? I feel like the lens might be a little foggy. Like there's something that is appearing one way that is just a snapshot of the reality of the full truth, the full picture, let's say. So I definitely think that is indicative of some things that could be challenging, whether on the world stage or in our microcosms, all of the above. So we'll feel into that, see what comes forward there with Tuesday. Now let's see what Wednesday is bringing as a midweek blessing. And that's going to be July 1st, right? Is there 31 days in May or 30? I think there's 30. I think Wednesday's July 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Yeah, because the 4th of July is Saturday. I don't know where I am or what time it is. I don't know how we got here. Yeah, this is the final day of June, closing it out with a blessing. So let's see what's coming up. That's okay. Oh, of course. Beautiful. Another 2 as well. Choice points, right? 2, duality, dark, light, right? The conscious, the unconscious, and the High Priestess. Beautiful energy. What are you asking me for? You already know, right? So she comes in as your wise self. And this is so, I always say this is so spa-like and feels so relaxing that it feels like a little respite there. We're going to talk in a few moments about the energetic weather, which includes Mercury retrograde on the scene. So we're definitely going to be in a bit of a pause and reflect with all the re's. So I do feel that the High Priestess comes in as a bit of a blessing there, in sort of respite or a moment before we step into July as we close out June. So did I say May has 30 days? That's what I'm saying. It's June. Ay, ay, ay. It has been such a time over here. And also not feeling 100%. We had a little stuffiness going on. I think it was like a post-vacation ick that we've been clearing. So that's got me a little foggy in the head as well. Okay. 1st of July, Thursday. How are we growing? How might we expect to grow in this new month, in this new season, in this new phase, and in the energies of Cancer season here and now, and as we're stepping forward into July. So let's see. How are we growing? Ooh, beautiful. 4 of Wands. Yeah. So rebuild. There's building, there's foundational framework that's happening. There's connection with community, with tribe, at home. So this is what a beautiful card. 4 of Wands coming in with how we're growing within our own communities and tribes. And it is a card of celebration and milestones. Well, of course, here in the U.S., as we build up to we're celebrating the 250th anniversary of America. And of course, Independence Day being on Saturday. So there's surely going to be, perhaps for many, an energy of coming together, gathering together, perhaps celebrating, or birthday for sure across the U.S. And so there is that energy coming in too from a most practical place as well. Finally, Friday is going to cap off the tarot cards. Let's see what's coming in here for Friday. Wrapping it all up. 8 of Wands. Yes. Okay. That's what I'm saying. It's going to pick up speed. This is the 8 of Wands. This is things happening quickly. Fire, unexpected, movement. And it's interesting because I often say about this card, it's like objects in the rearview mirror may appear closer than they are. I say that a lot of times when I would see this version of this card. You can see with like the speed with which it's going around the bend. And this lens right here and this energy does really feel like it's difficult to focus, right? It's difficult to focus when things are moving so rapidly, when things are changing so rapidly. And we can even say coming at you very rapidly, things coming out, being thrown at you, throwing you off even to where you have to come back to your equilibrium. So I think that's where we're really getting some guidance to come together, right? Working together. Also the clarity in the focus and the stepping away and going within to your inner wisdom and getting connected there. So I think this is really building for us some messages that we will expand on into July for sure. And as we are going to touch a little bit on some of this early astrological weather. Last card we're going to pull is going to be from the Oracle of Oneness. And this is just going to close us out with a message and maybe just, I'm kind of overlapping this into Saturday with it being the 4th of July and some of the aspects that I'll be sharing about. So kind of looking toward this card to give us sort of a message and some guidance around that. So let's see what we get here from the Oracle of Oneness. There we go. It's a number 2. There's beauty in our flaws. Wow, beautiful, Chiron. The wounded healer, right? We talk about Rumi's quote, that the wound is where the light enters you, right? There is beauty in our flaws. 2, 2, 2. And I mentioned when I was talking about the strawberry moon that it ended up being exactly 22 minutes and 26 seconds, which when I was sharing it earlier, I was pointing out 3 2s is a 6, and 6 is the number of balance, healing, and harmony. 6 also came out of the Queen of the Moon as self-love when I was dropping cards around, right? And they were jumping out. So I am following those spiritual breadcrumbs, which I see across all of these cards and here too with all these little orbs of piecing together the messages that come to us in a myriad of ways. And it really is about calibrating your spiritual antenna to what resonates for you. So in this case, I'm mentioning the patterns that I'm seeing coming through in the numbers and the energies that are really about choice point, duality, partnership, the energy of the number 2, which we see 3 times here this week, and this beautiful message that there's beauty in our flaws. And I have to say that I really am getting some messages specifically for the US and Independence Day. I actually would even say, looking at this is reminding me of the Statue of Liberty, the way that she's worn by the elements. And there's, to me, an energy of ideals and reality and recognizing where there is beauty, where there is good bones. Okay, that's the 4 of Wands, the framework, the intention, the ideals, and where there are flaws that are being highlighted and in some cases zoomed in a lot. So that's where I'm seeing sort of a story starting here for us that I think we'll pick up now with some of the astrological weather, and then we will roll into some intuitive messages with each of these cards. Thank you so much for being here. Let's go check it out. All right, let's get into it here with Monday's card coming in as this 3 of Pentacles. So as we take a look at the Tarot of Oneness this last week, this is a card that speaks to teamwork, focused effort, focus definitely coming in as a buzzword this week, collaboration, initial implementation. So like a project, we see, like I mentioned, back to the drawing board, but there's like a synergy coming together and bringing unique and diverse perspectives, gifts, abilities to the table here in a way that's very complementary. So it's saying that it's collaboration time. We all have unique skills and can provide valuable input when it comes to larger projects, and creating synergies will produce incredible outcomes. So this is not about, handling it by yourself, a solo project. This is about you not needing to take everything on yourself. So whether that's coming in the form of delegation, where maybe you are delegating some things, or you are part of a group, or something is being asked of you to participate in a way, there's something here for you to recognize your talents as well as those of others, and coming together, finding partners that you trust. Perhaps, yes, some may see things differently, but different perspectives, different viewpoints, right? Through different lenses are needed, right? So it's talking about how all of that can come together in a way that's very cohesive and collaborative, but also a successful thing that we can build together by using innovation, using unique and diverse perspectives, talents, abilities to the table. So that's just sort of, this full moon, like I said, in Capricorn is about taking responsibility for your choices, right? But responsibility for your role, responsibility for your abilities that you have. And I think in some cases, this is about people, when we talk about don't play small, right? Go big, step out, let yourself shine. So if you haven't been doing that, then it's like, taking responsibility for bringing your gifts to the table too, right? Putting it out there because you have something to contribute. So that's all, just food for thought that this full moon is kind of bringing in, stirring up, shining a light on, and setting the stage for things that are unfolding at a very rapid pace, as we see. So let's take a look at Tuesday's card now for the potential block or challenge this week. All right, Tuesday, we have a potential block or challenge for the week as this beautiful Two of Wands, where we're looking through a particular lens, right? And bringing in that number 2. So traditionally, we're talking about planning, preparation, having foresight, discovery, making progress, decisions, being open to growth, looking out on the horizon, right? And being ready for that, ready for change, gathering confidence, setting yourself up for success. But if this is a potential challenge this week, or we're feeling blocked in that area, that can come up in the form of fear of the unknown, reluctance, having a lack of preparation, having an awareness that your goals may not be in alignment with what you truly want. That has been a theme coming up a lot, especially this month in June in the Empowerment Pack, where we've been getting messages around, is this a thing that I still even want? Right? I've been honing in on something, focusing on something, putting a lot of energy into something that I'm having an opportunity to make a choice about whether I'm going to continue or if I'm going to refocus, right? So I think that's definitely an underlying aspect for some. And so now, this can bring in this sense of having an opportunity to redirect our focus, as well as things not quite being what we expected, or once we've zoomed in or gotten a closer look, or, in some step along the way, we may be finding ourselves rerouting in a sense. And again, it's going to vary for everybody. But, feeling into what comes up for you, that if there is a particular area that's jumping out for you, or something that you're not sure how it might be coming up for you, and you would like a personal card pull this week, you can reach out and let me know. Also, there's many ways for us to connect here as we're stepping into a new month with, of course, as I mentioned, that full moon empowerment reading and the July empowerment pack. Okay, let's keep going. We've got a major arcana card coming up here for Wednesday. All right. Wednesday brings the next 2 in the bunch, and not just any 2, the High Priestess herself coming in here, the divine feminine, higher wisdom, the unseen, and this beautiful spa-like energy coming in here that says, what are you asking me for? You already know. At the same time that we talked about Taurus, Chiron and Taurus pressing on us saying, well, who are you to do that? So there's this energy of stepping into your power, owning it, right? And not because anyone or thing outside of you says so or gives you permission, just because you as we said, just by being you, by being here, you are innately worthy, right? So this is the midweek blessing, and it's talking about intuition, balance, awareness, introspection, right? It's the spiritual, subconscious, divine knowledge, having powerful visions, psychic insight, mediumship. It's highlighting the third eye, cosmic energy, and illumination. And I see the moon here. So like I said, I do feel that this is connected to things being heightened in the afterglow of that full moon in Capricorn. Now, in terms of the blessing, it is talking about how embodying the energy of the high priestess means connecting with your subconscious and sacred knowledge that's infinitely available to you. So whatever answers you seek, they can be found within this inner temple. Access through meditation and visualization. And this is where you can be still and tap into your intuitive guidance. Divine knowledge is available for you when you still your mind. Yeah, and we talked about that. The busy mind, having to be discerning about where we're going to focus our energy. That is all being highlighted here with the blessing in it. Now, it also says, and this is speaking to some of the things I was mentioning, it says things are not always as they seem. Allow signs and symbols to guide and support you. Channel insight from the non-physical realm, psychic messages, mediumship, intuitive connection, insight. Call it whatever feels right for you. When you take a moment to pause and connect, the answers will become clear. Yeah, as I say, tune in to what speaks to you. I mentioned the numbers, the symbols, the colors, the different things, the words that are jumping out to us with the unexpected and all these other things that are just coming all together, including that, taking the words out of my mouth, about things not being what they seem, following the signs, trusting your intuition, using your discernment, right? So that is wherein lies the blessing. And if it weren't for those things not being what they seemed, coming to light, we may not have connected so deeply with our inner knowing. So it is all serving, right? Even if it is something that, is unexpected or, even shocking or, not something that we necessarily want to see or discover to be what it is. And yet it is the thing that is part of what is cracking open, what is awakening, what is ascending here in terms of, leveling up and really getting clarity. So there's a blessing in that, right? So we feel that energy anchoring us into the midway point of the week. And with that, then we are officially in July. So let's finish out the week, see what's coming up then next for how we're growing. All right, Thursday, how we are growing. And we have this beautiful version of the Four of Wands. Now, I don't know if it fully comes up for you, but we're talking like we see hands outreaching toward the light. Traditionally a card of celebration, milestones, dancing, right? Coming together in merriment. And these are things that could take place in the home, in our communities. And also the four being very structural, very foundational, very much about what we are building and the framework under which we are building it. So I was saying in the card polls about this card coming up in this position at this time, that it is about a sense of rebuilding and coming together and growing in community, growing in gathering. And also just from a practical, we know it's 4th of July week into the weekend, that there are celebrations and milestones being marked here with this Four of Wands. Now, in general, it does bring an energy of excitement, harmony, homecoming, joyful celebration, awareness of dreams manifesting, appreciating the good things, a significant event, and achieving a milestone. So fill your heart with joyous celebration among family and friends. Put your conflicts and resentments aside and appreciate the good things in life. Tell people you love them and let blissful happiness flow through you. So This is an energy that is representing the celebration of friendships, weddings, birthdays, homecomings, reunions, special events, and more. So it really illustrates the joy of celebrating. And specifically in this card, what's actually happening is it is the Hindu holiday of Holi, the festival of love. So that is where we have all those bright colors and very beautiful. Like I said, it's a striking card. And with that celebration also being known as the festival of love, it's also the festival of spring and the festival of colors. Holi is a traditional Hindu celebration. It is a joyous day when people unite together, putting aside all their bad feelings that they may have towards one another, and it represents the triumph of good over evil and is celebrated in the community with friends and family. So again, this is it's not Holi, but that's the card that came up to mark the energies of this week, bringing that frequency. So very interesting. Like I said, again, we're setting the tone here, stepping into July's very powerful energy. So feel into what that means for you, but I definitely feel a blend here of collective, world stage, as well as in our individual worlds, of course, this beautiful card coming forward. Okay, let's take a look now at Friday. All right, Friday comes up with this card, and it just seems so apropos for these energies, kicking off 8 of Wands, which is bringing speed, movement. This is like, progress, forward movement, fast paced. It can highlight air travel, a whirlwind trip, kind of like what I did today, going to my daughter's college and back, embracing the momentum, bursting with energy. That's just some of the ways that this can come forward. So it's saying, put on your seatbelt. Wow, we've heard that now in duplicate, right? Put on your seatbelt. We heard buckle up earlier, right? When we talked about the energies happening here for 4th of July, as a matter of fact. Put on your seatbelt. You are about to step on the gas and hop into the fast lane. The 8 of Wands is about forward movement. It's exciting, energetic, and full of optimism. You're headed at light speed toward all those goals you've been visualizing and working so hard for. This is one of those times when you find yourself almost vibrating with high energy. The ideas just keep flowing. You feel inspired and ready to tackle just about anything. Ride that vibe while you're in fast forward mode. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to. Is it possible that you've been sitting on a dream for a while and have held yourself back from making that first move? Well, it's time to let go of any limitations or roadblocks. It is time to go for it. And as I mentioned, it can also be, just from a practical standpoint, air travel being in your future. So, also about movement, travel. And so is the 2 of Wands, by the way. So planning and preparations for travel, movement, all could be a part of the mix as well. Now, one of the things that, we might feel that squeeze, that pull, that challenge there is this wants to take off, and yet I said Mercury station retrograde, slow down, review, having that respite in the midweek with the High Priestess. So this is where there might be a little of that, feeling that like revving up, but also like getting our bearings because of that conflicting energy. So again, as we move into the week, as we step into the month, we'll continue to build on this. Next week, we'll have an all-new intuitive deck to work with, along with the altar elements and mantra, all the things that we'll be tuning into for July. So let's finish for now with that oracle message coming from the Oracle of Oneness. All right, the final card for this hybrid crossover full moon week, culminating with the 4th of July, Independence Day, the 250th birthday of the U.S., and all the things. We got this beautiful card number 2, our third 2. There's beauty in our flaws. The affirmation: I embrace my flaws as unique aspects of my beauty. My imperfections add depth and character to who I am. I accept others with compassion and understanding, flaws and all. I see the beauty in my flaws and love myself fully. This card features a drawing that Robyn made of a stone angel she came across while visiting an old cemetery in a peaceful country setting not far from where she lives. She says she was captivated by the way sunlight shimmered on the edges of the flaking paint. She imagines it was a beautiful statue when first installed, pristine and white, but it has become stunning in its imperfections. Lichen and moss have crept across the surface, adding texture and color. It has weathered, and time and the elements is a beautiful and unique way of weathering her. So, like I mentioned, I was kind of given the vision of the Statue of Liberty when I first was looking at this card when we were pulling them. So it says, in this case, she's speaking to this image bringing to mind wabi-sabi, the Japanese concept of finding beauty in imperfections. And that's like kintsugi, the actual art of making something broken new again. Life's flaws and irregularities make it interesting. It also reminds me of a quote from The Stone Angel by Margaret Lawrence. It says, "We are all flawed, but it is through acknowledging our flaws that we can find strength and true connection." We are often too hard on ourselves, and social media is a major culprit today, making us feel we don't measure up. People create illusions of perfect bodies, relationships, homes, and lives, which compel us to change ourselves to meet unrealistic standards. It's time to fully accept yourself, flaws and all. We tend to see the good in others and the bad in ourselves. Comparison affects our self-image and damages our self-esteem. Yet we all have flaws. We are perfectly imperfect. We age, make mistakes, and face challenges. Choosing to see imperfections is as unique and beautiful, allows us to let go of insecurities and embrace our own beautiful individuality. Yeah, I think it's very symbolic for sure. If our marching orders are to get out there and shine, right? Unapologetically, to bring to the table your unique gifts, your unique lived experience, that with it comes flaws and all, then I could see this card shining a light on just that from an individual perspective. And yet it is collective, because as we talked about Jupiter in Leo, it's affecting everyone. We will all feel the effects of its expansion in all things Leo, which is why it's about shining, stepping out there, courage, bringing that unique spark to the table while also balancing the ego. And so that was, what we were talking about in the astrological weather. So that's certainly something I feel in this card. And then just kind of continuing to expand it out from there, all of the things happening in a cosmic perspective, on the world stage perspective, and all the way through, right? So there's definitely much that we have building here and continuing to unfold as we go into the month ahead. So more to come there. I'm going to leave it there. Once again, there's lots going on this week energetically, lots going on here with all of the offerings and ways that we can connect. So, I'll pop the link here, as I mentioned, for Venmo or PayPal if you do want to join me for that very special Strawberry Moon offer. For $29, you get that full moon empowerment reading, personal card pulls, and a chakra check for you. And you can also hop on over to July into the Empowerment Pack, where we're going to do it again another month, but it is the month to really get into, what is unfolding and how can I garner some insight, guidance, and awareness so I can step empowered into these energies with my own free will. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love, many full moon blessings, and we'll talk soon.